Yo, what is good, Mets Nation? Welcome back to Mets Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts to the Mets and Phillies series over the weekend that just got wrapped up. The Mets and Phillies split it 2-2. We had a doubleheader on Friday. We versed them with DeGrom on the mound Saturday and Stroman on the mound yesterday. And like I said, we split it down the middle. So I'm definitely going to give you guys my thoughts of each individual game, who played well, who did not play well. We know that this offense for the New York Mets is struggling at the plate, but at least we still have the starting pitchers playing their best selves and the bullpen. So, hey, we are getting healthy. Michael Conforto's finally back. We know that McNeil's back. Brandon Nimmo is expected to be back this week, and JD Davis. So in this video, I want to give you guys my overall thoughts of this series and what we can expect from the New York Mets leading up to the All-Star break. Before I hop into the video, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to Mets Media, do not forget to smash that subscribe button. And if you guys want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, that is at NYMets_media. And if you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right in. So, starting with the game one of the doubleheader on Friday with Taijuan Walker on the mound, the New York Mets won this game 2-1, and we got a solid outing from Taijuan Walker after he was coming off his worst performance so far of the season. Taijuan Walker pitched 5 innings, only gave up 1 run, 5 strikeouts, and now his ERA is at 2.38. And this was a game that was pretty wild because we did not have offense all the way until the 7th inning, basically. We had no runs. We were losing 1-0. And who shows up in the big clutch moment to tie the game that eventually got us to win? Francisco Lindor. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, man on second. And no, I think it was man on third base. And bottom of the 7th is basically bottom of the 9th because it's a doubleheader, as you guys know, so it's shortened games. And Francisco Lindor, the last out, all the Phillies needed to do was get him out, and they would have won the game. But what does Lindor do? He rips a base hit up the middle. Super clutch move right there from Francisco Lindor to tie the game up in the bottom of the 7th to force extra innings, which eventually happened to Dom Smith to hit a walk-off single up the middle, and the New York Mets win the game 2-1. This was a great game from the Mets because they showed that they have that resilience factor, that they do not give up. Even if we're losing late in games, they're going to fight back. They're always going to put their 110% effort no matter what the score is. And as we know, the bats are ice cold for the Mets. There's really nobody that's really consistent at the plate right now. But what the Mets did this weekend to escape this victory and the victory on Saturday as well that we'll get into, it shows you the character, the heart that this team plays with, that even if they're struggling, they have the heart. They have the confidence. They know that they can win baseball games. And that's exactly what this Mets team showed me in this series in particular, because we had no right to win some of these games because that's how bad we were playing and that's how bad the bats were at the plate. We were not driving anybody in. We were leaving way too many people on base. But this was a great outing from Taijuan Walker and especially Francisco Lindor to go 2 for 3, get that game-tying RBI hit in the bottom of the 7th, and then Dom Smith to hit a walk-off single in his. I'm pretty sure they walked Pete Alonso in the bottom of the 8th, and then it was first and second, no outs. In the first pitch, Dom Smith rips it up the middle. Francisco Lindor walks it off, and the Mets come out on top in this one. So let's get into game 2 of the doubleheader. This one did not go in our favor. David Peterson, though, this is the positive of this game and the whole series in particular, man. David Peterson is pitching very well. He pitched 6 innings, gave up only 1 run, had 5 strikeouts, and his ERA is now under 5. It's 4.95 right now. And yes, I know that's not a great ERA, but as we know, David Peterson has been going up and down all season long. But listen to this stat right here. David Peterson, in his last 3 starts, he's pitched 16.2 innings, only given up 2 runs, and his ERA is a 1.11 in those 3 starts. That shows you the resiliency of a guy like David Peterson, who's only in year 2 of his major league career. And I was always high on David Peterson. There was a lot of people, saying he needs to get off the team. We need to send him down to the minors, trade him or something because he's that bad. And yes, everybody had a right to say that because he was playing really. I mean, he couldn't even get out of the first inning at times. He would be pitching 3 spectacular innings and then get lit up in the 4th. And he was very inconsistent all season. He went to a really, really bad stretch of games. But I always had confidence in David Peterson because what he showed me as a rookie last season and what he showed me this year, earlier on in the year, that he has the potential to be a good pitcher in the MLB. And that's exactly what he's proving right now. For his mentality to push through that adversity and have confidence in himself that he could be a starting pitcher in this league shows you the mental trait that he has to go out there and pitch this well in his last 3 starts. Unfortunately, he did not get the W, and it does suck because all we needed to do is score a couple damn runs. We would have won this game with ease, but the bats are ice cold. So that's definitely the positive I took away from this game. James Buchanan was the only player to have the RBI, and we lost this one 2-1. So we split the doubleheader. We won the first game, and the Phillies won the second game. So now let's get into game 3 of the series, which was on Saturday with Jacob deGrom on the mound. The Mets won this game 4-3, and hey, Jacob deGrom had his worst outing of this season, and a lot of people are like, wow, Jacob deGrom, this is his bad outing. This is some pitchers' best outing of their careers. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. His ERA now went all the way up to a .69. And he actually had 1 hit at the plate as well, which is his 12th hit of the season. So Jacob deGrom obviously did not have his dominant stuff that we're used to seeing because he's on a historical pace right now. But for him to go 6 innings pitched, to get out of crazy jams, he was bases loaded, no outs, and he only gave up 1 run off a sacrifice fly. That tells you the ability for Jacob deGrom to not get rattled when it is, not going his way, when things get tight and things are just in a chaotic environment. He evens in, he strikes people out, he forces people to ground out, he forces people to pop out, and he easily could have got blown out of the waters. Bases loaded, no outs. That's a recipe for like 3 or 4 runs, but he only gave up 1 run in that scenario. And then before that, he gave up RBI, I think double or a single, and he gave up 2 runs. And this was the first time all season that Jacob deGrom gave up 2 earned runs, which I'm not concerned about. We cannot expect Jacob deGrom to put up zeros every single start. He is human. He's going to do it. And I cannot believe ESPN had a headliner saying like deGrom struggles and the Mets rally for the victory. deGrom struggles, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. But hey, I guess that Jacob deGrom has made his standards where he does, quote unquote struggle if he doesn't give up, less than 1 run. But hey, I'm not complaining. But this was a very good game outside of deGrom's outing because we were losing throughout the majority of the game. Kevin Pillar had the game-tying home run late in the game, which was awesome to see. Before that, Jose Peraza had an RBI double. But man, how about these guys? Kevin Pillar and Peraza, the bench mob, that home run that Kevin Pillar hit opposite field, he was running around the bases with so much fire and desire and energy. You love to see that from Kevin Pillar. That ties the game 2-2, and then the Phillies take the lead late in the game, and then what happens? Bottom of the 9th, Louis Guillorme at the plate, bases loaded, full count, and of course he drives, he keeps fouling it off, and he draws the game-tying walk to tie up the game. And then that leads to Michael Conforto coming up to hit the game-winning sacrifice fly. Just all he needed to do is get the ball in play, pop the ball up, because all we needed is 1 run to win the game in the bottom of the 9th, and that's exactly what we did. And the Mets win this one 4-3, back-to-back days with walk-off victories. It feels good for the Mets because, yes, we know that this Mets team is struggling at the plate, but they're finding ways to win. This was a game that they easily could have lost, but they always keep fighting and fighting. They were taking advantage of all the Phillies' mistakes. They had so many errors all over the place, the Phillies, on the infield, just oh my God, it was pretty insane to watch. But the Mets capitalized and they took care of business and won this game for deGrom. Unfortunately, he did not get the W because they did not have the lead after he left. But Edwin Diaz gets the W, even though he did give up a run in the top of the 9th. But man, for the New York Mets to be down 1 run in the bottom of the 9th and come out with a victory, that tells you the resiliency and the clutch ability for the Mets to get on base, take advantage of mistakes, and do their thing and win some ball games. So let's get into the last game of the series, which indeed was yesterday. The Mets lose this one 4-3, and Marcus Stroman goes to the mound. Definitely struggled. He only pitched 3 innings because he was getting worked. Every single inning, it felt like it was just 25 pitches per inning. They were fouling him off. They were just being very pesky at the plate. And he only gave up 2 earned runs. 4 of them was, 2 of them were charged against him. The other 2 were not because of the errors that the Mets had. And Marcus Stroman has a 2.45 ERA. Stroman was definitely struggling. I know that he unfortunately has some family matters to attend to. His grandmother passed away. So we're thinking of you, Marcus Stroman. He's now actually away from the team, but he's expected to come back. But hey, I'm not too concerned about this because, hey, even if Marcus Stroman pitched well, we probably would have lost the game because the bats are ice cold. That's the problem with the Mets right now, as we all know. Francisco Lindor had a great game. He had 2 doubles. Alonso had a great game, 3 for 4, and Pillar had a solo shot. But other than that, the bats were ice cold. And even if Stroman had his usual dominant self of pitching, 6-7 innings, giving up 1 or 2 runs, we probably wouldn't even won the game because the bats are really that cold right now. But now that we're getting healthier, we're getting Nimmo back eventually, and Conforto and McNeil hopefully can get into rhythm after coming off the IL. We can start scoring some runs consistently because when we do that, this team is going to be insane. We have to realize we're in first place by a large margin, and we've been going through all these injuries. So that's really my recap for the Mets and Phillies Phillies series recap over the weekend. The Mets split it 2-2. We are still in first place. We got 40 wins, and the Mets are looking good. Stay tuned for more Mets content. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of the video, and like the video if you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Let's go Mets! Peace.